Hey guys, Mary and Pippin, or Ryan and Quinn here. We figured we should do a quick gear update. We found that we don't need a few things, so we sent that home yesterday from the Nanahala Outdoor Center. Saved some, I think we sent about 4.5 pounds home yesterday. Including the box, of course, but so I sent home my GoPro waterproof backing. Whenever it rains really hard, I just put it in my rain jacket or put it in my dry bag. I haven't really used it since. I'm probably not going to be recording in the pouring rain anyway. I also sent home my neoprene socks home. Didn't use them once, even walking in the snow. My feet have been very happy other than putting on frozen shoes, but even those wouldn't do anything about that. I also sent my 2 liner socks home. I've been happy in just my normal socks. It's been great. I think that is all that I sent home. We are going to get a new hoop shovel tomorrow, or a few days, Thursday. That is the Deuce of Spades, titanium, super light. Replace our plastic gardening one. What else is going on? Alright.
Food we sent home.
Oh yeah, we sent home the coffee as well. We didn't really find a time that really wanted it or needed it. Once it gets dark, it's bedtime. So got that. Been eating a lot, so picking up a little bit extra food along the way. Nothing too crazy. But now I will pass it up to Mary or Quinn, and we'll talk about.
Yes. So, biggest thing for me was I replaced my rain jacket. A few days ago when it was really rainy and then got really cold, my rain jacket was completely wetted out, almost completely useless. So while we were back at Franklin, I got this nice new green one, and as you can see, the water actually beads on it, so that's a wonderful thing.
Those are some pretty big deals there on some Mountain Hardware stuff at the
yes, at Outdoor 76. Yeah, this
place is sweet.
Very cool place. Definitely recommend checking it out if you are in need of any gear or just looking for a good time. They have a tap room there too. Check it out. But yeah, the rain jacket 50% off. Can't beat that. I also sent home my extra battery pack. I didn't really need it until last night, ironically, but everything I've had has been holding its charge just fine, and we can get out to town often enough that I don't think it's worth carrying with me. So I think that's about all I sent home. Yeah. Pippin?
All right. So one other thing I wanted to mention for our update, right before we left, I switched over to my tall gaiters. And as you can see, they have mud all the way up to my knees on them. So they have been saving my pants. It's been great, especially the really wet and muddy days. They also add some nice insulation as well. I also switched out the lightweight Patagonia Capilene 2 long sleeve for my Arc'teryx Fortress hoodie, and that was a huge move, and I am so thankful for it because it has been chilly. It's great to hike in on the cool mornings. It is definitely heavier. I'll be sending that back and switching it out for that Patagonia long sleeve once it's consistently warm. But it's nice having something with a hood at mid-weight, for sure. Might switch to the running gaiters later, but so far these are kicking ass, so I know it's going to keep on being muddy for a long while yet. The rest of my gear is I'm doing really well. I'm super impressed with my shell. My sleeping bag has kind of been a bummer, just because I got it wet on one of the first days. I mistakenly putting a non-breathable emergency blanket on it. Don't do that. Emergency blankets are great along by themselves, but they will just cause lots of condensation to settle on your bag, and especially if you have a down bag like I did, just stayed wet. But I dried it out really nice at the Budget Inn. It's been nice the last 2 nights. All right, passing up to Quinn one more time.
Alright, some of the stuff I changed last minute. I got a waterproof stuff sack for my sleeping bag. I don't think that was in the first gear video, but that's been huge, especially with all the water and just misty stuff we've been dealing with. So that's been huge. Also, these little these mittens here, North Face, just a waterproof little shell mitten. What was that?
The runner's over mitt.
Runner's over mitt? That sounds right. But yeah, they've been working out great so far. Just for hiking, and then when it's colder I pair them up with my liner gloves that I brought. That's been great. Besides that, I changed the sizes of the stuff sacks that I was using. The first ones I got were just far too big for my bag, but that's working out well. Yeah, I have a hole developing in my food bag, probably just because it's not meant to carry the sort of weight I'm putting in it, but so that's a bit of a bummer. I need to replace that at some point in time if the tear starts to get too big.
Oh, my backpack shell cover, whatever the hell it's called, it's starting to wet out. It's several years old.
And we got a garage sale.
Yeah, garage sale purchase. So who knows how old it is. So I'm gonna be switching that out at some point. My GoPro case also broke somehow on the little black part on the top that clicks it together. It's still holding together, but I'm gonna have to replace that too.
Yes, alright then. I think that's about it for the gear updates, yeah?
Yeah, we'll keep on updating along the way. I'm sure we'll think of other stuff, but definitely learning a lot from people along the way, different stuff that we might try, but I'm very happy with everything that we've been carrying.
I'm sure we'll break almost everything we're carrying at some point in time, so I'm sure there will be lots of these gear updates. Yes. Alright, see you guys. Always embrace the extra mile.
Also, there has been probably 3 or 4 nights? Three nights? Yeah.
Which is a lot considering we're on day 10.
Yeah, we're on day 10, and the 3 nights we were so cold that we didn't really sleep. I have a 15-degree bag, and Quinn has a 20. Yep. So you may want to consider getting a 0-degree bag if you're starting early. I know the people that we talked to who started like the 24th of February. They had a week of really cold weather, and all of them have 0-degree bags.
Or at least a very good sleeping bag liner.
Yeah. Alternatively, Quinn said you can get a good sleeping bag liner. Some of them add up to like 15 degrees Fahrenheit, which is huge. They're a little bit heavy, but for comfort's sake, those first 2 days it might be worth it. I know I was miserable. Also, when you're trying to stay warm, make sure your belly is full. Eat a lot before you go to bed. And when you get into bed, don't put all of your clothes on, because the body heat will be trapped in your sweatshirt or your jacket and it won't be released into the sleeping bag, and that's what keeps you warm. So if you can just have your thermals or base layers on, and then put a hat on to keep the heat on your head. And then the real trick is actually doing sit-ups while you're in your sleeping bag. When you do sit-ups, it generates lots of heat, and then traps it into your sleeping bag. And once you do that, if you can avoid opening your sleeping bag for any reason, you'll be much more comfortable that way as well. Okay, let's check in a few more minutes when we think of other good stuff. I also sent home the GoPro pole mount as well. Haven't used it once. I know it would take better picture and video than you just holding it, but it's too heavy and it takes too long to get on my pole. If I keep it on my pole and know I'm gonna break it, these rocks are brutal at some parts. So I might be looking for something else to attach to my pole, but that has been sent home. And another big change that I forgot to mention before I left, switched over to the Trail Shock by Black Diamond, their trekking pole. I was going to use the V poles, definitely have potential, but they have that little shock on them, which, thinking that with all the rocks and stuff, it's going to make a huge difference. These are also just more robust poles, and we've been beating them to hell on these rocks and stuff. Definitely get a pair of trekking poles, whatever they are. They're gonna save your legs. Just 2 extra limbs, and it climbs and ascends so much better. I honestly do not know how I would be able to do it without them. Just right now, walking without my trekking poles, I'm much more tired than I would be using them. So definitely get some poles, get some robust ones. I would say stick away from the carbon. They might be lighter, but there's been a few instances that I thought my pole was gonna break. It's getting stuck between rocks and roots and stuff. And that would be devastating, but you do you. Choose the pole that's right for you. Get the right length. It's nice to have the telescoping ones, but they do move a little bit throughout the day. Just get pressed down. The Z pole is just a one length. And that's all I have to say about that.